Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today's video is Sussy Sunday, where we try and find the truth. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepmom that I wouldn't sleep on the couch if she didn't scream like she's getting killed? Our first post comes from the Am I the a-hole subreddit, posted by LankyChart6758. My 15 female parents split when I was 10. My mother got full custody, but I still stay with my father on the weekends. My father's been dating Vanessa for 3 years already, and they live together. I can't say I've grown super close to her or fond of her, but I remain polite to avoid arguments. Vanessa also has a child named Max, 7 years old, who also lives with my dad. The problem started about a year ago. Every time I visit my dad, they have sex. Look, I don't mind, it's none of my business, however, Vanessa is super loud, literally screams. I stay in the room next to theirs, where Max also sleeps, and the walls aren't really thick, so I can hear everything. And obviously, Max can also hear it. I bet even the neighbors can hear them. I couldn't sleep because of the noise, nor could Max. This also happens around 12 to 1 AM, so it's much worse. Usually when this happens, I decide to go downstairs and sleep on the couch. Sometimes Max comes with me and we play until we can finally get some sleep. So one day, I was in the living room with my phone. Both Dad and Vanessa come downstairs and they ask me what I'm doing there. I told them that I couldn't sleep. Vanessa got angry and said that I should stay in my room and that if I wanted to sleep downstairs, I should bring a pillow and a sheet because I'd get them dirty. I'm confused. This is a weird thing to be mad at. Like, is OP confined to her quarters or something? And how would she get the couch dirty by sleeping on it? I feel like I'm missing something here. This threw me off a little, so I told her if she stopped screaming like she's getting killed in the first place, I wouldn't have to sleep on the couch. My dad started to laugh, but she got defensive. When my dad saw that she wasn't laughing, he stopped laughing and gave me a scolding look. Vanessa said I was being rude and to mind my own business, that she had a right to do whatever she wanted because she was at her house. Dad asked me to apologize, so I did. I couldn't fight anymore, I just went upstairs again to avoid any more drama. The next day, my dad was angry at me and decided to drop me off early at my mum's house again. I noticed that Vanessa had blocked me on WhatsApp, and my father hasn't been answering my texts. Next week is my birthday, so I've asked him if they're still going to attend. Nothing. He doesn't answer me, but he sees my messages. I feel awful, and I want to know if I was really being an a-hole and too invasive or rude. Am I the a-hole? Update. Today, I had a call with my grandma, and I carefully explained to her the situation, and she was mortified. Granny told me that she would speak to my father and convince him to meet me as soon as possible. I plan on making a bigger update later. Thank you all for your advice. What's going on here? Is Vanessa trying to push OP out of the picture? They've been together for 3 years, but she only started screaming in bed a year ago, and your bedroom just happens to be next to theirs. That's a bit sus. Do you think this is her way of trying to ice OP out of the picture so that she, her kid, and OP's dad can play happy families? Let me know what you guys think. Car dealership tried to rip me off, ended up having to pay the inflated maintenance bill themselves. Our next post comes from the MaliciousCompliance subreddit, posted by YouCoReal. This happened about 17 years ago in a major city in the very south of the Netherlands. I had a new job and we needed a second car. I bought a new Twingo, a car that went for about £12,000. There was 2 stipulations in the contract when we bought the car. 1, that we had to get the financing through their dealership, and 2, that 3 years maintenance was included. We financed a minor part for 3 years at 0% interest. After the first year, I took the car for its first service. I had about 12 Ks on the odometer. When I dropped the car off, I was asked if there was anything that needed attention. I think I answered something like, do whatever you need to do. Later in the afternoon, when I went to pick up the car, 3 rather bulky men were standing behind the service desk. I remember they were really focused on me when I was presented with the bill. The bill was for about £1,000, and for a 1-year car with just 12 Ks. I immediately understood what had happened. They must have figured they could just inflate the bill with all kinds of nonsense maintenance actions, since I gave them the go-ahead to do whatever was needed, and to avoid any trouble, they made sure that I could be intimidated by there being 3 bulky dudes. I just very friendly asked for my car keys. But you have to pay first. No, I don't. Please may I have my car keys? Instead of enlightening them straight away, I kept going like this for a bit. When things started to get a bit unfriendly, I reminded the rep that I'd bought the car at this dealership, including 3 years of maintenance. All 3 guys turned a few shades lighter and frantically started searching for the contract, whispering and moving away to the office out of earshot. It took about 10 minutes before the rep came back out and handed me my keys. I ended up getting its 3rd service just before the 3 years had elapsed. And as soon as I got the title to the car, I traded it in for a car of a different brand. And as you would expect, the bill for the 2nd and 3rd services were less than £300 to £400. Am I the a-hole for getting upset at my wife for hanging out with a male friend? Our next post comes from the Am I the a-hole subreddit. Posted by LoboLogo3. I'm 32 male, and my wife Susan, 30 female, works part-time and is the primary carer of our children, 2 and 3-year-old boys. Recently on Wednesdays, her parents have been taking the boys for her so she can have a day to herself. I sometimes take time off on Wednesdays for us to do just a day for us, but naturally, I can't take every week off. On 3 occasions, my wife has met up with our single friend Josh, 32 male, for coffee and hikes. Susan and I had an argument after they planned to go hiking to a place we'd previously said we'd go. Another time, I suggested we do something, and she mentioned she'd already organised to see Josh and had forgotten to put it in the calendar. I was upset and asked her to let me know when she's catching up with him in advance. Susan believes that I'm being invasive and overbearing. Most recently, I found out that Susan and Josh had caught up last minute while I was at work, and Susan only told me about it after he'd already left. I got upset and said that purposely not including me is suspicious and hurtful. Susan says that I'm interfering with her having any male friends and that my accusations are hurtful in of themselves. Am I the a-hole for suggesting that Susan catching up with a male friend and not telling me is wrong? Yeah, this one sounds pretty innocent to me. I mean, they caught up last minute. He was at work, so how's that purposely not including him? And she told him the moment he left. Like, what's he expecting? If she bumps into Josh on the street, she should be like, wait a sec, before I talk to you, I need to check with my husband? I don't know, I kind of think he's being a bit much over nothing. But what do you guys think? Am I being naive? And now it's time for your unethical life hack. OP asks, how do I F with my bosses and make their life just a little bit more difficult while making mine easier? Posted by Platinum Chan. To make a long story short, my workplace effed me over and I'm quitting soonish. I work in an expedition team of 15 in total with 5 supervisors and bosses who treat us like second-class people. Basically, my superiors treat me like poop and blame me for every mistake while I'm one of the most knowledgeable and experienced workers there. Why the hell are bosses so effing stupid to F with people they desperately depend on? I've already planned my big termination where I'll just call my boss out for all the poop they F up all the time. But until then, what else can I do? The pettier the better. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Down in the comments, Inevitable Dave says, volunteer for a series of expensive and lengthy projects. Make a lot of contacts, sign the company up for anything and every opportunity. Really get the ball rolling, then quit without leaving any notes or handovers. Pisty Party adds, I knew someone who was an admin assistant who felt they were underpaid, worked for a few months to get her fingers into a few important projects and blew up the budgets. Employers should pay and treat people well, or they'll use their skills against them. Gramslam X says, also, don't actually resign, just stop showing up and let them figure it out. Triple983 says, slow down your workload and give minimal effort. Really hurts them if you're a top performer and your numbers cover for not as skilled employees. GanK07 says, take a needle and inject tuna juice into their chair every day, so every time they sit down, they get a big whiff of it. Plus, as the days go, it gets worse. Toad Jones 79 says, never let them finish a sentence. Like, ask a question and then ask a follow-up question or a statement just before they finish talking, so they never really get to finish a thought. subtly act in charge, like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing that's obviously what they want you to do, and then I need you to do that for me. Also something that's obviously their responsibility. It feels awkward to argue that you're correct, but they want to say it. It forces them to act like a toddler in an elevator saying, I push button! Oh my god, that would drive some of my older bosses crazy. Also, stop laughing and talking abruptly when you see them coming into audible range. Maybe throw in a whisper right as they get closer. The mental warfare. I love it. Chemical Escape says, man, this made me laugh and unlocked a memory as well. Back in like 2008, I was mildly scrolling through Craigslist and came across an ad for a Chewbacca imitation contest. The ad said they were looking for an impersonator and would pay $40 for the best one. And to go ahead and just greet with the impersonation, or leave a voicemail with the impersonation if there was no answer. I immediately told a friend who does a spot-on impression, and he called. Neither of us realised we'd unwittingly helped prank some poor bastard until recently, when I saw it done on Lucifer. Oh my god, okay, this makes me want to watch Lucifer now. Is it any good? After reading all the suggestions, OP adds in an edit. Thank you. Wow, I'm blown away. All this can really improve your poopy workday. Thank you all very much. I would like to add that I would definitely put a container of shrimp paste somewhere in the depths of our workplace. Shrimp paste on its own has a very strong smell. Rotting shrimp paste? Lord have mercy. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.